This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, the B.League's new three-tier format could open the door for more Filipino players to compete in Japan. Rainer shines Caelan Tiongson upbeat about their team's Governors Cup campaign as they look forward to meeting crowd favorite Barangay Ginebra this weekend. JRU completes a sweep of defending champion San Beda to capture its first ever FilOil EcoOil Preseason Cup title. Eala has just 70 ranking points to defend, giving the Filipina star a prime opportunity to climb the WTA rankings during her North American swing. FilHISGOC says it has fully liquidated all 2019 SEA Games funds as it faces an NBI investigation into the country's hosting of the biennial meet. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 23rd of July. Now, here's our roundup brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, the Philippine Olympic Committee, and the NSTIAC. More Filipino basketball players could soon find their way to Japan. That's after the B.League announced major changes to its competition format. A move the league believes will open even more doors for Filipino talent. Here's the exclusive report from Zeus Valdez.
The B.League is betting big on international talent, and Filipino players stand to benefit. In an exclusive interview with the Scorecard, B.League Executive Officer Nao Okamoto said the league's new three-tier structure, B.League's Premier, B.League One, and B.League Next, was designed to make the competition stronger while creating more opportunities for players across Asia. Okamoto said Filipino players have already proven their value, not because of their popularity, but because of their ability to help teams win.
For the Filipino players, for the B.League Premier, we need to, so the club need to achieve the three goals, right? Three criteria, like attendance, number of spectators, and revenue, and arena, those three. So as long as you meet those criteria, you are able to play on the B Premier. Otherwise, you play on the B.League One or B.League Next.
Beginning this season, clubs will be allowed to field 3 imports, 1 Asian or naturalized player and 1 Japanese player, meaning as many as 4 non-Japanese players can be on the floor at the same time. Okamoto believes those changes will make the league more competitive while giving more international players a chance to earn roster spots.
I think the level of competition is more like higher and higher because, we open up, we changed the on-court regulation. Last year we already quite diversified, but this year, this season onwards, more diversified. Currently, we believe so. That's why we open up, we changed the regulation, on-court regulation.
As if the new structure would translate into more opportunities for Filipino players, Okamoto didn't hesitate. With less than a dozen of Filipinos already playing in Japan, the B.League hopes its new system will not only raise the level of play, but also expand the pathway for the next generation of Philippine talent to succeed overseas. The B.League will officially roll out its new 3-division format this season, with Filipino players expected to be among the biggest beneficiaries as Japan continues to expand its reach as one of the Asia's premier professional basketball leagues. Reporting for the Scorecard, Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Rainer shine is finally in the win column, and after breaking through against Phoenix, the Elasto Painters are already shifting their attention to their next big test, a showdown with Barangay Ginebra. Here's the exclusive interview from our sports correspondent, Zeus Valdez.
With their first win off the conference finally in the books, Rainer shine is wasting no time looking ahead. Newly appointed team captain Caelan Tiongson said the Elasto Painters know another challenge awaits when they face Barangay Ginebra in their next outing. After opening the conference with 2 straight losses, Tiongson believes their breakthrough victory over Phoenix has given the team the momentum it needs.
Just overall performance, I think we're hungry and obviously desperate for a win, staring out the 0-2, so just happy that we got the win.
But Tiongson expects a different kind of challenge against the Team Kings, who are adjusting to life without the four-time best import Justin Brownlee. While Ginebra now has a new import in Riley Grigsby, Tiongson said the team remains a dangerous opponent.
I think no Justin Brownlee, so it's not even the same team at all. So we're going to just do our best and, yeah, hopefully get another win.
Tiongson also dismissed the Justin Brownlee stopper label that has followed him in recent conference, saying no player can truly shut down one of the PBA's greatest import.
I think that's more just troll stuff. I don't think anyone really stops Justin Brownlee in this country.
As for his first game against former team captain Gian Mamuya, Tiongson admitted it was nice to see his longtime teammate again, but said competition always comes first once the ball is tossed up. Rain or shine will try to make it 2 straight wins when the Elasto Painters take on Barangay Ginebra on July 28 at 7:30 p.m. at the Smart Araneta Coliseum, where they hope to build on the momentum of their breakthrough victory over Phoenix. Reporting for the Scorecard, Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Terrell Brown's PBA journey didn't start the way he had hoped. Before suiting up for Titan Ultra, the American import had to overcome a series of personal challenges, including a house fire back home, personal matters, and clearance issues that delayed his arrival in the Philippines. But on Wednesday, Brown turned adversity into triumph. He finished with 29 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals to lead the Giant Risers to a 103-87 upset of defending champion TNT, ending the franchise's 10-game losing streak.
It was very important for this win, for me personally, just to prove to everybody that I belong here, whatever, and also for the team. You know, they were looking for their first win, and I'm happy that I could help get them the first win.
Head coach Renzi Bahar later revealed that Brown's late arrival wasn't basketball related. The Titan Ultra mentor said the import's home was destroyed in a fire. And combined with personal obligations and delays in securing his release from his previous club, Brown was unable to join the team until just before its season opener. Despite the circumstances, Brown said his teammates and coaches helped him adjust quickly.
It was a little difficult just starting out, but the team, they welcomed me very good, and the coach, he helped me catch up fast with the team, with the plays and everything. So at this point, I feel good. I feel like we got a good chemistry, and we're ready to keep going.
The Philippine women's national football team will face one of Asia's toughest sides after being drawn with 9-time Women's Asian Cup champion China in Group G of the 2026 Asian Games in Aichi, Nagoya, Japan. The Filipinas will also take on Uzbekistan and Hong Kong in the group stage as they aim to improve on their quarterfinal finish in the previous Asian Games. The tournament will also serve as part of their build-up for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. Meanwhile, the Philippine men's under-23 team returns to the Asian Games for the first time since 1974 and has been drawn into a tough group with Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and Kuwait. The football competition begins on September 14, 5 days before the official opening ceremony, with the top 2 teams in each group advancing to the quarterfinals. Alex Eala heads into the North American hardcourt swing with a golden opportunity to climb even higher in the WTA rankings, as the Filipino star has just 70 points to defend over the next several weeks. Last year, Eala's campaign was limited by a shoulder injury, with her second-round finish at the U.S. Open accounting for all of her ranking points during this stretch. Now ranked world number 29 after reaching a career high number 28 earlier this month, any deep run in Washington, Toronto, or Cincinnati could significantly improve her standing. With only a handful of points separating her from the players ahead of her, a strong result could propel Eala into the world's top 25 or even the top 20 before she returns to the U.S. Open, where another impressive performance could further elevate her career. Jose Rizal University is heading into the NCAA season with a major confidence boost. The Heavy Bombers captured their first ever FilOil EcoOil Preseason Cup championship after defeating NCAA champion San Beda 74-67 in Game 2 to complete a two-game sweep of the finals. JRU took control in the third quarter, building a 12-point lead before the Red Lions rallied to within 5 in the final period. But the Heavy Bombers had the answer. Stephen Garupil hit back-to-back three-pointers with a triple from Aldous Torculas in between to restore control and put the title away. Tournament MVP Lawrence Mangubat led the charge with 27 points, including 6 three-pointers, while Adrian Eligado added 10. The championship completes a remarkable preseason run for JRU, which also eliminated National University and Letran before sweeping the reigning NCAA champions. The Philippine Southeast Asian Games Organizing Committee says it is ready to face the NBI's investigation. Amid an expanding probe into the 2019 SEA Games, FISGOC head Ramon Tats Suzara explained that while post-games obligations were delayed by the pandemic, the organization was fully liquidated by March 2022. A certification from the Philippine Sports Commission proves that they have fully liquidated the 2.08 billion peso in government funds provided for the country's hosting of the regional games. The document, dated July 2026, states that all required liquidation reports were submitted, with FISGOC saying the process was completed in March 2022 following pandemic-related delays. The organization also said its financial records were reviewed by an independent auditor. The development comes as the NBI issues subpoenas to several FISGOC officials as part of its investigation into allegedly unliquidated funds, questionable congressional insertions, the absence of competitive public bidding for certain projects, and the controversial 50 million peso SEA Games cauldron. Investigators are also looking into the role of former FISGOC chairman Alan Peter Cayetano in the organization's operations. For its part, FISGOC maintains that the successful staging of the 2019 SEA Games, where the Philippines finished as overall champion, and the full liquidation of its funds demonstrate that it has nothing to hide. A proposal to retire Rene Baterbonia's jersey number and rename the Palarong Pambansa Secondary Boys Basketball MVP Award after the late standout is being considered for the 2027 edition. While the move is intended to honor Baterbonia's legacy, veteran sports columnist Homer Saison said the suggestion may be premature and believes there are other, more appropriate ways to pay tribute to the young basketball star. The proposal remains under review, with the Palarong Pambansa board yet to decide whether to adopt the recommendation. The wait for LeBron James's next move may have just gotten longer. A new report says the four-time NBA champion was prepared to announce his decision last week until comments from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver changed the timeline. Silver recently said he hoped James would make his decision soon, citing the league's need to finalize its regular season schedule, including opening week and the Christmas Day slate. But according to Cleveland radio host Andy Baskin, a reliable source said LeBron's camp was irritated by the public remarks and chose to hold off on making any announcement. James's agent Rich Paul also revealed he spoke with Silver, stressing that his client would not be rushed into making a decision. Paul said the message to teams has remained the same. LeBron will decide on his own timeline, and there is no need for anyone to apply extra pressure. For now, the NBA continues to wait as one of the biggest offseason storylines remains unsolved, with LeBron James still holding the league's attention. Chanel Avaricio kept herself in contention for the Singha NDSF Ladies Open crown after firing a 1-under-71 to stand at 6-under par through 2 rounds before play was suspended due to lightning in Bangkok, Thailand. After opening with a brilliant 67, Aparicio remained within striking distance of the lead, while Filipina Yvonne Becerra surged up the leaderboard with a 6-under 66. Tiffany Lee also made a strong push before the weather halted play, with the second round set to resume before the final round gets underway. Former heavyweight champion Tyson Fury came in at a lean 265 pounds for his bout against Poland's Mariusz Wach, who tipped the scales at 291.4 pounds during Thursday's official weigh-in in Thailand. Fury, who was lighter than his opponent for just the fourth time in his professional career, joked that he was now Mr. Slim after spending most of his career as the bigger man. The two heavyweights are set to clash Friday at Max Muay Thai Stadium. Up next, Riley Grigsby made an impressive first impression, scoring 42 points in his PBA debut for Barangay Ginebra. But despite his big night, the Gin Kings opened the Governors Cup with a loss to Phoenix. Basketball analyst Jay Mercado breaks down Grigsby's debut, Ginebra's early challenges, and what to expect from the Gin Kings this conference. When we return, right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. Barangay Ginebra import Riley Grigsby turned heads with a 42-point performance in his PBA debut. But Ginebra still suffered an opening day loss to Phoenix in the Governors Cup. With Justin Brownlee still recovering from injury, can Grigsby help keep the Gin Kings in championship contention? And what adjustments do the team need to make after its first game? Let's get the expert's take from basketball analyst Jay Mercado. Jay, welcome back to The Scorecard.
Hi, Anton. Good evening.
Good evening. And Riley Grigsby, we were just talking about him. He finished with 42 points in his PBA debut, but unfortunately for Ginebra, they still came up short. What did that game reveal about the team's strengths and weaknesses without Justin Brownlee?
Well, for one, that's a good point. No, Justin Brownlee obviously was the anchor of Ginebra's offense and defense. No? We saw that in the Commissioner's Cup, even if Brownlee had a height disadvantage against all the other imports who were there. I think one thing is that Ginebra is still adjusting with Riley Grigsby there. We can't entirely put the blame on Grigsby for not carrying Ginebra to a victory against Phoenix. For one, well, just a background on Grigsby. He's from Seattle University, the same school that produced the likes of Elgin Baylor, Jawan Oldham of Chicago, who played with Michael Jordan in 85 and 86, and Clint Richardson was part of the 83 team of the Philadelphia 76ers as a reserve point guard. But if you look at it, no, he may not necessarily have the NBA credentials because he was undrafted in the 2023 NBA rookie draft. But alam naman natin, if it's Tim Cone, he will select the kind of player that will fit his team. Alam natin na marunong siya mamili ng player, and we have to be confident with it. Pagdating sa ganyan, he scored 42 and 13. Those are eye-popping numbers for any Tim Cone coach team. You don't expect an import to score 42 points, particularly on his debut game. The problem was the locals scored 36. So that's a major difference, and no local scorer was able to score in double digits. The closest one would be Maya Gray, who had 9 points, and RJ Abarientos, who had 8 points. So is Grigsby the type of player who can make his locals, so his teammates, better? I think that's one question we have to find out. Is Grigsby the type of player who will produce points and try to carry his team offensively? We still have to find that out, no? But the thing is, I think the one thing we know for sure, it's still too early to tell at this point in time.
Yeah, maybe he was just trying to make a good first impression. But one thing I liked about Grigsby was that he did say and made it clear that he's not trying to replace Justin Brownlee, but simply play his own game. How important is it for Ginebra to adjust its system to Grigsby's style instead of, maybe expecting him to fill in Brownlee's role?
I don't think that will happen at all, to be honest. No? Timcon is a stickler for his own system. So it has to be Grigsby who has to play within the system of Coach Tim. So that's the first one. I think one thing that they have to do is try to maximize the strengths of Riley Grigsby and not let the locals expect that there's a Justin Brownlee 2 coming in. Mahirap i-emulate yung ginawa ni Justin Brownlee for one kasi alam naman natin pag crunch time you know where the ball will go to. Pagdating sa if Ginebra is down by 16, 18 points, you know who will take over offensively for the team. We don't know yet about Grigsby in this case, though. So ang nakikita ko lang is that the possibility is that Grigsby has to adjust immediately with the triangle and with the run and gun system that Ginebra has been implementing for the past couple of seasons already.
And I think, Jay, that's one thing we're going to monitor in the next game of Barangay Ginebra. And maybe the scoring totals of Grigsby will go down because the locals have to get involved. Hindi pa pwedeng yung puntos ni Grigsby, mas madami pa sa lahat ng mga locals ng Barangay Ginebra. That's a recipe for disaster. So we talked about the offense. Is there anything that concerned you about the defense of Barangay Ginebra?
Well, the scores were low. It was 81-78, so I don't see that as a problem. I didn't see that as a major problem. I think there's one thing, though. Richie Rivero, who normally plays very well against Ginebra. Remember, there was a time in November 2025 when he scored his previous career high of 28 points, and that was against Ginebra. So, normal yan that Richie Rivero's game normally goes up by several notches when he plays against Ginebra, maybe because of the crowd, maybe because of the challenges involved with playing against the most popular team in the league. But in this case, since Scotty Thompson wasn't around, they would have had they would have somehow had an extra person to be in the face of Richie Rivera for that particular moment. And Richie eventually won Best Player of the Game honors for that particular night. No? So, in a way, parang, you have to understand, Scotty Thompson is probably the second player who represents the heart and soul of this team. Hindi pa si RJ, it's really Justin Brownlee and Scotty Thompson. He brings energy to the team, at lalo na kapag lackadaisical yung performance ng overlookers, it's going to be Scotty Thompson who's going to jumpstart this team and try to bring in the energy as much as possible. Without him there, medyo hirap talaga. And Stephen Holt continues to be in a slump, no? Carried over from the finals of the previous 2026 PBA Commissioner's Cup.
So it's like you have your top two leaders, Justin Brownlee and Scotty Thompson, not present. And that's also something that we have to factor in. Now, Jay, looking ahead, do you expect Ginebra to improve quickly as Grigsby gains more experience with the team? Or do you think it's going to be a longer adjustment period before the Gin Kings can reestablish themselves as legitimate title contenders?
Well, he has to, Anton. I think that's one thing. The format will help Ginebra in a sense. Why? Because they don't have to play one game each against all the other teams. They will play they'll play teams in their same bracket, twice. So they have a chance to actually scout the other teams. They only need to scout 5 teams essentially, and try to come back, So that's one. Medyo mahirap lang ang mas magaling yata tong bracket ng Ginebra, Rain or Shine, Phoenix, mukhang mas loaded ng konti, at least at the onset of this particular tournament. So we'll see. But yes, Ginebra will have to find a way to to find its rhythm right as early as the second game, so that kahit pa paano, while waiting for Justin Brownlee, Grigsby can be able to extend himself and stretch himself all the way up to the playoffs. Otherwise, if Ginebra suffers back-to-back losses or goes 0-3 or 0-4, then baka mapilitan mapaaga ang pagbalik ni Justin Brownlee, even if it's not physically healthy yet, or they might have to get another import.
Should be interesting. The next couple of games of Barangay Ginebra and how Riley Grigsby will adjust with the team that he has right now. Jay, thank you so much for joining us once again on the show.
Thanks again, Anton. Good evening.
Coming up next, Blackwater has emerged as one of the early surprises of the Governors Cup. But can the bossing handle the pressure of facing Ginebra? We'll break down that matchup when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. Two teams, two heartbreaking losses, and just one chance to get back on track. Barangay Ginebra and Blackwater are set to square off, with both sides desperate to avoid falling deeper in the early Group B race of the PBA Season 50 Governors Cup. But this is more than just a bounce-back game. It's a test of depth, momentum, and who can respond better under pressure. For Ginebra, the biggest story remains who isn't playing. Justin Brownlee still recovering, Scotty Thompson nursing a severe hamstring injury. They remain out of the lineup, leaving Tim Cone's squad without two of its biggest leaders. The good news, Riley Grigsby looks more than capable of carrying the import load, especially in the points department. The American exploded for 42 points and 13 rebounds in his Ginebra debut against Phoenix, but he received very little support. Not a single Ginebra local figure scored in double figures, with Jeremiah Gray finishing with just 9 points, while RJ Abarientos struggled from the field. Abarientos, however, believes the loss also revealed something positive, that the team has found an import they can build chemistry with. So Riley Grigsby is that import that RJ Abarientos mentioned that he believes that they can build chemistry with. Ngayon naman, let's go over to the other side. Let's talk about Blackwater. They entered this game with far more confidence despite its first loss of the conference. The Bossing erased a 17-point deficit against Meralco before falling on Chris Newsom's late game winner. It was a loss, but also a statement. Cedric Bearfield, he scored 29 points. RK Ilagan added 20, and the Bossing proved that they can go toe-to-toe with one of the league's title contenders. Even Meralco head coach Luigi Trillo added, Blackwater has no quit, crediting head coach Patrick Aquino for the team's improved competitiveness. So Bearfield expects Ginebra to control the tempo, this is what he said, but believes Blackwater can win it if it matches Grigsby's physicality and continues playing to its strengths. At 2-1, the Bossing have already shown that they are no longer just a surprise team. They're starting to look like a legitimate playoff contender. So, what will decide this matchup for Ginebra? It starts with the locals. Grigsby has already proven that he can score. Now, the Gin Kings need Abarientos, they need Gray, and the rest of the supporting cast to provide offense, while their defense returns to its physical identity. For Blackwater, the formula is simple. Keep playing with pace. Let Bearfield, Barkley, and Ilagan attack early and force Ginebra's thin rotation to play under pressure. One team will snap back from defeat and the other will drop to a dangerous early record. It is desperation versus momentum. And that's exactly why this could be one of the most thrilling games early into the PBA Governors Cup. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow on The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody, and good night.